All right, kids. So today we are going to have another session of Bhagavad Gita. So we will get started with the verses, and we will also try to understand some of what we did in previous classes. So the third verse, according to the third verse, what happened? Duryodhana, he was a great politician. He could have mentioned Drishtadyumna's name directly, but instead he purposely called him the son of Drupada. So he went to Drona and he was saying son of Drupada because he wanted to incite some kind of agony upon. See, if Drona hears the name Drupada, then he will be more in anger, right, to fight with the Pandavas. That's why he wanted to invoke and provoke that anger in Drona. And that's why he didn't directly call Drishtadyumna, but he called him the son of Drupada. Are you all clear? Then Duryodhana reminded Drona that his enemy's son Drishtadyumna was arranging the armies. Because Drona was naturally inclined to the Pandavas, especially...
Wait, Mataji, Drishtadyumna was on the Pandava side, right?
Correct.
And the Dronacharya was on the Kaurava side.
Correct. That is why he is now going to Kauravas and seeing, hey, Kauravas, he's going to Drona and he's saying, hey, you know what? Drishtadyumna, he's not saying Drishtadyumna is there on the Pandava side. He's trying to invoke some anger. So he's saying, in the opposite side, we have son of Drupada, who is Drishtadyumna. He didn't say the name directly, but he wants to invoke that name, Drupada, so that he can incite anger upon Drona. Are you able to understand, Aditya?
Oh, so then Drona would have to join the Kaurava side, so he doesn't have to fight with the son of Drupada.
No. The thing you didn't understand, I think. So we have Drona, he's on the side of Kauravas, okay? And we have Drishtadyumna on the side of Pandavas, okay? So there is enmity between Drupada and Drona. We saw that in last class. There was a fair fight. Remember, he was a king. I mean, he was going to become a king. When they were students, they just said, okay, the Drishtadyumna, Drupada said, okay, I'll help you, Drona. Whenever you are in need, you can come to me. So when he was actually in need, he went to Drupada and he inquired Drupada, can you help me? At that time, he just he told Drupada that he told Drona, hey, what is this? I told you when we were child, you are going to believe childish talk or what? Go away from this. He was in rags, he was in torn cloths and all that. When Drona went to go and ask for help, Drupada declined that offer and turned him off. Remember? Because of which Drona got angry and he wanted to fight with him because of the Kshatriya spirit in Drona. And then when he first sent Kauravas, the Kauravas were defeated by Drupada and party, but then he sent the Pandavas. Arjuna happened to defeat Drupada. Because of that, Drupada again became angry and he wanted to take revenge back against Drona. So this is the story we saw from last class. Do you remember that story? Hari bol, Aditya?
Yes, Mataji.
So now, as you can see, we have Drishtadyumna on the side of Pandavas and we have Drona on the side of Kauravas. So now we have Duryodhana, he is going to Drona and Duryodhana is trying to invoke some anger and fear, anger in Drona because he wants Drona to give his 100%. Because he knows Drona is really very pally with Arjuna. Arjuna is his best student. So he may show some favor to Arjuna. Like that he was thinking in his mind. That is the reason he's saying, see, in the opposite side, we have, he didn't say the name Drishtadyumna directly, but he's saying, in the opposite side, we have son of Drupada. Because as soon as he hears Drupada, he will get anger, right? And then he will be able to fight with the Pandavas, even though Arjuna is on that side. Because of that, the previous enmity with Drupada, he will fight fiercely with the Pandavas. And that is why he is trying to invoke that in him. Are you able to now understand the context? Hari bol?
Yes, I understand, Mataji.
Yeah, Mataji, I got it.
Got it. Okay. All of you all are able to understand this is very important. Otherwise, the third stanza, you will not be able to get it. Okay. So now Drona was naturally inclined to the Pandavas, right? Arjuna was his favorite student. And Duryodhana needed to use whatever ploys he could ensure that Drona would fight to the best of his ability. He wanted Drona to give a best shot whatsoever. Drupada and Drona had attended the same Gurukula, even though Drona was the son of poor Brahmana and Drupada was a prince. Despite their differences in the backgrounds, they became intimate friends. In a moment, in a moment of affection, Drupada, what did he tell his friend Drona? Whenever he inherits a kingdom, he would try to help Drona. Drona took the words of his friend to heart. Long after they have graduated, Drona had entered into the Grahastha and found that his child was crying for milk, Ashwatthama. Drona was so poor that he could not even buy milk for his child. Then he remembered Drupada's promise and thought, let me go and meet my friend Drupada and beg a cow from him. When Drona arrived at Drupada's palace, he was not properly received. Drupada said, am I your friend? Friendship can be recognized only among equals. You and I, we are not equal in any way. Look at you, how shabbily you're wearing your clothes. Get out of here immediately. Drona vowed revenge. Later, he trained both the Kuru and the Pandava princes in the military arts and then asked for Guru Dakshana. Now, capture Drupada and bring him before me. That is what I want as Guru Dakshana from you. The Kauravas tried to offer first. They went to Drupada and they got easily defeated. And they came back to Drona in embarrassment. Dronacharya was mortified. Arjuna then came forward. What did Arjuna do? The other Pandavas lined up behind him and he attacked the Panchala, Drupada's kingdom. After the fierce battle, Arjuna captured and bound Drupada in ropes and carried him to Dronacharya's feet. Dronacharya then took half of Drupada's kingdom by force and thus made Drupada his enemy. Drupada then performed a sacrifice to obtain a son who would later then kill Drona, and that son was Drishtadyumna. Drishtadyumna later approached Dronacharya to study the military science. So even though Drishtadyumna was supposed to kill Dronacharya, Dronacharya still taught Drishtadyumna the military science. He was not showing the partiality in that sense. Okay, that is very important to know. And such is the liberality of a Brahmana. A Brahmana's liberal heart is compared to that of a sun, which does not withhold its light from the courtyard of anyone, even a thief. So when you look at sunlight it's not partial. It is not partial to me. Oh, I will shine at Radhika Mataji's house only. No, it is not like that. Sun is impartial. It will shine at everybody's house and give sunlight to everybody. Sun is not partial. Likewise, Dronacharya, he was not partial. He was a very liberal Brahmana. And that is why, even though he knew that Drishtadyumna was going to kill him, he imparted that knowledge of military science to him, like that of sun, analogy of sun, you should remember. Dronacharya did not hesitate to impart all his military secrets to Drishtadyumna. Are you all clear so far? This is text number 3. And now,
I understand.
What is that?
I said I understand, Mataji.
Oh, who's this?
Ramachandra.
Wonderful, Ramachandra. That's what I need to know. Okay, let's go on to the 4th verse. Again, Duryodhana mentioned Drupada to incite Drona's anger. Duryodhana also mentioned Bhima and Arjuna. Now, Duryodhana is coming to, he first spoke about the son of Drupada, meaning, who's the son of Drupada? It is Drishtadyumna. Correct. And now he is coming to Bhima and Arjuna. Duryodhana is mentioning Bhima and Arjuna. Arjuna was the powerful enemy, right? Not only he had studied under Drona, but he had gone to the heavenly planets, later fought with Shiva, and had been given many celestial weapons. Arjuna, because of his capabilities, he was even able to go to the heavenly planets, destroy all the enemies, and in turn, he was also able to get the celestial weapons from the heavenly planets. And he also fought with Shiva. And then he has been given many celestial weapons as well. Duryodhana was especially afraid of Bhima. So he's talking about these personalities as well. He spoke to Drona about Arjuna, then he's speaking about Bhima. He's telling Bhima, he has a fiery temperament and his expertise in fighting. Therefore, he mentions his name first. His name was called upon first. Bhima was furious with Dhritarashtra's sons. Before the battle, what happened, we will see. It's very important, okay? So we will go through the slide here and then we can discuss through that. Okay, before the battle, he took 3 vows. Can you all pay attention here? Because what happens is after maybe 30 minutes, we will have a question and answer session. And in that time, I want everybody to raise your hands so you can answer the questions. And if you're not paying attention to the class, you will not be able to relate to any of them. These are all some important things in the first chapter. Only when you understand these things, you will be able to understand what is the mood of these fighters, okay, as we go along the different chapters of Bhagavad Gita. So it's important to set context first. Are you all paying attention, kids? Is your mind focused?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
Can you all
Mataji.
raise your hands if you are going to pay attention for the next 30 minutes? Raise your hands on the yes, on the Zoom. I don't see Destiny, Nihal and Shadara raising their hands. Varun, are you on? Are you able to hear me? Okay. So the 3 people in the last, you also should raise your hands and pay some attention here. Okay, let's understand what are the 3 vows now. Okay, the first vow was who's doing a vow here? It is Bhima. What did he vow? He vowed to kill each of Dhritarashtra's 100 sons. All of them. Bhima was the one. Bhima wanted to kill all. How many sons of Dhritarashtra are there? There are 100 sons, and all of them Bhima wanted to kill. Varun, join, because I'm showing the PowerPoint here. During the battle, Arjuna and other Pandavas had opportunity to kill some of Dhritarashtra's sons, but they refrained from doing so to allow Bhima to fulfill the vow. What happened during the battle? Most of them had obvious opportunities to kill the Kauravas, but they did not kill the Kauravas. Why? Because they wanted Bhima to fulfill his vow. See how nice the brothers are? When you are having brothers and sisters at home, we should actually have this mentality of giving instead of taking. Hey, what? You know what? If you don't give this to me, I'm not going to talk to you. Okay? See what I will do to you if you don't give it to me. If this is the mood we are developing, isn't that bad? You all have brothers and sisters, right? What kind of mood you develop with your brother is important. A brother is somebody who should be able to sacrifice for his brother, like that. Then only you will have developed that good mentality with others also. If you do it with your own kith and kin, then you will be able to extend it to the community outside. But if you don't, if you are behaving very badly with your own brother at home, saying, oh, go away from here. Oh, please, I'm going to lock my door, or I'm going to shut the door, or I'm not going to talk to you if you don't do this to me, or I'm not going to give you anything as a favor if you don't do this to me. If you do these things, it's all bad mentality, right? Why you want to unnecessarily develop bad mentality when you have opportunities to become a good kid, right? We should think about it and introspect. Introspect means thinking about it, contemplating about it, looking up the shastras to see, oh, am I being a Duryodhana here? Let's not. Of course, we all have our own tendencies, but we should try to become as much as possible like the Pandavas. Okay, that is the learning. Okay, and then what happened? During the battle, Bhima's anger was inflamed.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Who's this? I don't know who that is, but anyways. So these brothers, they gave opportunity for Bhima to kill the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra. And then during the battle, Bhima's anger was inflamed. Why he was inflamed? He screamed, jumped up and down. He drank the blood of each son of Dhritarashtra when he killed. Even the warriors on the Pandava side feared this rage. He was jumping up and down like that because he was so happy about the fact that he was able to kill all of Dhritarashtra's sons. Because there is a reason. Going back to the history, we will see what the reason is in the next slide. Okay, second, he vowed to break Duryodhana's thigh. Why? Why did he want to break Duryodhana's thigh? Anybody knows? So the answer is also right here. When Draupadi was insulted, Duryodhana had uncovered his thigh and motioned to Draupadi saying, "Come and sit on my lap." See, when Draupadi was disrobed, she was actually humiliated, right? And that time Duryodhana was asking Draupadi to come and sit on my lap. Come here, Draupadi. Come and sit on my lap here. Like that, Duryodhana was asked to come. Draupadi was asked to come and sit on Duryodhana's lap. You are fit for my enjoyment. Bhima burned with anger and hatred. See, when a wife is humiliated like this before everybody, how will a husband feel, right? Bhima, being the husband of Draupadi, he was burning with anger and hatred. For 13 years, he had been burning and he waited for the opportunity to destroy the Kauravas. He could never take that. How can somebody take this kind of humiliation? They were not able to do anything about the Kauravas doing this sort of humiliation to Draupadi, right? And that is the reason why he took the vow of killing all the Kaurava sons. And that is the reason why he was angry and furious. And that is the reason why he was burning with rage and why he was jumping up and down in the air as if when he killed the Kauravas. So this is the reason for his emotion. And third reason, Bhima vowed to tear upon Dushashan's chest, pry out his heart and drink his blood. Dushashan, we all know Dushashan is a brother. So he is also on the Kaurava side. Dushashan had touched and opened Draupadi's tied and sanctified hair. He just pulled her hair like this. For that, Bhima also vowed to rip off his arms. Draupadi had promised to keep her hair untied. That means she wanted to let it loose. And she said she would wash it with Dushashan's blood. That is when I will wash it. Bhima later carried the blood upon his hands to Draupadi. Whenever he was killed, the tainted blood was actually taken to Draupadi and it was given to her by Bhima. Duryodhana named all these fighters. He was talking about one fighter. He talked about Arjuna, he talked about Bhima. Why is he doing this? He is talking about all these fighters to Dronacharya to free himself from whatever sentiments he felt for Pandavas. And he wanted them to be killed in the battle. He then continued to describe Pandava's strength. So we need to understand how diplomatic Duryodhana is. He wants to incite anger upon Dronacharya. And that is the reason he's calling Drishtadyumna as the son of Drupada. He's talking about Pandavas and saying how fiery and how fearful Arjuna is. When he's talking about Bhima, he also talks about the 3 vows that Bhima actually made, because of which we need to be more fearful than Bhima. Because otherwise Bhima would kill all of us. So we should really be fearful and fight against the Pandavas. This should be the mood that we have. That was the feeling that that was the kind of feeling that he wants to invoke to Dronacharya. He wanted to persuade Dronacharya and just make him fight to the best possible extent. And that is the reason why he's actually describing the strength of the Pandava army. Okay, are you all clear so far? Very important section in this chapter is 3 and 4, purports of 3 and 4, understanding the story, understanding what is the reason for why he's actually saying this to Dronacharya. Okay, all of you put your hands down and tell me if you all understood this so far, so we can go to the next verse. Okay, good. Yeah, you can just raise your hands and just tell me. That's good enough. Don't have to unmute or anything, but you just raise your hands. All of you all who have not raised your hands, I assume you don't understand or what?
I understand.
Yeah. You can raise your hands.
Wait, Mataji, you told us to put our hands down if we understood.
No. Again, raise your hands if you understood. I thought from previous time you were having your hands raised. Okay, good. Thank you so much for listening the class. Varun, join the class. Keshu. Okay, so now we will move on to the next slide. Okay, he names more warriors. Let's understand who those are. Drishtaketu. Drishtaketu was the son of Shishupal who fought on the behalf of Pandavas. Shishupal, we all know, he was against Lord Krishna and not against Pandavas. Drishtaketu was killed by Drona in a fierce battle. So now he's talking about another personality called Drishtaketu. He is the son of Shishupal, but he is fighting on the side of Pandavas. And Drishtaketu, he was killed by Drona in the fierce battle. The result of the battle is also known. Okay, not much details are given about this personality except for what I have here. Okay, Chiketina was a Yadava in the dynasty of Vrishni. He was a very chivalrous Maharathi and one of the commanders-in-chief of the Pandava army. Kashi Raja, he was the king of Kashi. He also fought on the side of Pandavas. Now Purujit and Kunti Bodha, they were the brothers of Kunti and they are also on the side of Pandavas. Shaibya, he was the father-in-law of Maharaj Yudhishthira. His daughter Devika was married to Yudhishthira Maharaj. He is known as Narapugava, the best of men, and was recognized as a powerful heroic warrior.
Mataji?
Yes.
Aren't all these warriors are in this loka like Drishtaketu, Chitanaha, Kasi Rajascha, Viryavan, Purajit, Kunti, Bhogascha, Saibhyascha, Narapungava.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ramachandra. Yes, this is from 1.6. I didn't quote the verse, but thank you. Yes, that is the verse and all these names are there. That is why they are all being cited. Again, these people were all talked about. Duryodhana is introducing all these warriors to Dronacharya. Okay, now 1.7. Let's go into that verse. 1 second. Let me see if the purport has anything more to clarify. And then we will go into the 7th verse. Duryodhana, he did not want to discourage those listening to his own fears concerning the Pandava's strength. Therefore, he added, let me now tell you about the great warriors on my side. So he didn't, again, see, there are two things. One is he wants to invoke anger, but at the same time, the people can become fearful, right? Oh my God, this guy Arjuna is so fearful. Bhima, he's so scary guy. If Aditya, say for example, you are there on the side of Kauravas, and if you are going to imagine Duryodhana is saying about so much about the Pandavas, then Aditya might say, oh, I'm not going to fight. It is so fearful. I might just decline to continue the war, right? So now Duryodhana, he changed immediately. He's talking about now going to talk about Kauravas. He's going to say the glories of the Kaurava army. That way Aditya doesn't run out of the battle, right? We want him to stay on the battle on the side of Kauravas. Do you want to be on the Kauravas or Pandavas? Pandavas.
Pandavas for sure.
Okay.
Pandavas.
Right. So
Yeah,
now,
Pandavas.
yeah. Okay. So anyways, so let's understand what this verse number 8 says. The 8 says, talks about the personalities who are all on the Kaurava side. Till now we have talked about Pandava side, and now Duryodhana, because he is so worried it might incite some fear in the Kaurava, so he wants to talk about the glories of the Kaurava warriors also, so that they don't run out of the war. Now let's say what he is talking about. Duryodhana was speaking to the two great warriors, Bhishma and Dronacharya. So while the king addressed Dronacharya, we all know he addressed Dronacharya, right? All the other fighters gathered there to listen to him. Therefore, Duryodhana, as an expert diplomat, began to describe the Kaurava strength with the words Bhavan Bhimascha Karnascha. Yet before he spoke, he was caught in another difficult situation. What is that difficult situation? Facing him were the two great warriors, Bhishma, who was the commander-in-chief of army, and Drona, who was the military guru. Whom then should I mention first? Now we see there are two warriors. The two warriors who he has are great warriors. Who should I mention first? Should I mention the poor? So he has to list the Kaurava armies, right? Should I have to list Bhishma first or Drona first? Because both of them, they are good people. They are very good. Bhishma is the commander of chief and Drona, he is the military guru. Who should I call out first? That was the condition. That was the contemplation that Duryodhana had in his mind. Duryodhana, however, was clever. He knew that Bhishma was a Kshatriya and Drona, you all know he is a Brahmana, but he had a tinge of Kshatriya spirit. If we mention Bhishma first, Dronacharya will be insulted. Say, for example, if I call out Mihika first, her sister may get agitated if they are on the same age, right? Mihika's sister may come, oh, how can you just call Mihika alone? I'm here right in front of Mihika. Why are you not calling me? It may look as an insult to her sister. But let's see what Duryodhana is doing in this case.
Mataji?
Yeah.
Are we on the verse which says Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Kripascha Samitam Jaya?
8th verse, dear. See, you look at the text here, 8. Okay. Anyways, let's continue this. I don't want to break the sequence. Let's complete this and then we can talk about the verse also. We can go back to the verse and recite the verse if need be. Duryodhana was clever. He knew that Bhishma was a Kshatriya and Drona was a Brahmana. If he mentioned Bhishma first, Drona would be insulted. As a Kshatriya, however, Bhishma would honor the etiquette of offering the Brahmana more respect. Thus, Duryodhana said, Bhavan Bhishmas. There are personalities like you, Dronacharya and Bhishma. So now you all understand, right, what a contemplation was. And Duryodhana, how clever he was. He knew Bhishma is a Kshatriya and Drona is a Brahmana. If he mentioned Bhishma's name first, Dronacharya is there, he will get insulted. And that is why he honored. And as a Kshatriya, we know the Kshatriyas offer respect to Brahmanas first. Thus, Duryodhana, he used this word. That is why he is addressing personalities like you, Dronacharya and Bhishma. That way, he is being a very clever person. He doesn't disobey both of them. He is honoring both at the same time. He then mentioned Karna. Bhishma and Karna were enemies. Why they were enemies? Because Karna thought, what is the use? I will fight and kill everyone. And this aged general will get, oh, Karna, what is he thinking is, if I kill everyone and fight and kill everyone, this aged person, because he's the commander in chief, right? He will get all the credit. Even if I kill everybody, first of all, to think you are the doer is wrong. Because whatever we do, we are one of the doers. And Krishna is the ultimate, I mean, he's the one. Without his sanction, we cannot do anything. So if at all we need to do something, we try to put our part, the material nature then makes it work through Krishna's sanction. That is how it works. To think that I'm doing, first of all, is wrong here, because Karna's mentality is thinking, oh, if I kill everyone, Bhishma is going to take the credit because he is the commander in chief. And so what did he do? Karna, he said, I'm not going to fight the war until Bhishma is killed. After Bhishma is killed, I'll come into the war. Till that time, I'm not going to come. Because if I'm going to kill all of them, still Bhishma will get the credit. And I'm not liking that particular idea. So Karna said, I will fight only after Bhishma is killed. And Duryodhana next mentioned Kripacharya. Kripacharya, who is he? He is a relative of Drona. Then he mentioned Ashwatthama, who is Drona's son. In this way, he hoped to inspire Drona. So now he's inspiring Drona through the Kaurava army as well. He's saying there is Bhishma, there is Karna, there is Kripacharya, there is Ashwatthama. So he's giving a lot of motivation to Drona. See, we have such good people here also. Surprisingly, Duryodhana next mentioned his own brother Vikarna. Vikarna was not of the same caliber as Bhishma or Drona, but because he was the only brother who objected to the Kauravas' insult to Draupadi, Duryodhana assumed that he was sympathetic to the Pandavas and that he might defect from the Kaurava army. Therefore, Duryodhana flattered Vikarna by including his name among the powerful warriors he was relying on. So let's see what that means. Vikarna, we all know when Draupadi was disrobed in that episode, nobody objected to anybody. No, nobody objected Dushashan or Duryodhan. But what happened? Vikarna, he was the one who objected to Kaurava's insult to Draupadi. And that is why Duryodhana is concerned. Oh my God, this guy, he may feel sympathetic towards Pandavas because they were humiliated so much during the Draupadi's episode. And they went to the forest, they came back, they went through such a humiliation because of Duryodhana and company. And because of it, he might have a soft corner towards Pandavas. So he didn't want that guy Vikarna to have sympathy towards Pandavas, because of which he said Vikarna's name was also included among the powerful warriors. So when you look at the words, Vikarna's name will also be amongst these special personalities like Karna, Bhishma, Drona, and all of them. Even though he is not a powerful warrior per se, he is not as powerful as Drona or Drona or Bhishma. But still, he was included for this reason. Are you all clear with this concept? It's very important to understand what is Vikarna's role and what Duryodhana was doing to Vikarna. This will be one of the question and answer session. If you don't understand, you can raise your hand so I can clarify to you. If you understood, then you might be questioned on this during the question and answer session. Most of you all didn't understand? Okay.
I'm raising my hand because I understood.
No. Whoever don't know, don't understand, please raise your hand, I said. Naimisha, you don't understand?
Can you repeat it again?
Okay, yeah. Aditya, you don't understand?
With the names, I got.
No, Mataji. Can you just clarify it?
Yes. So you understood the part Karna, right? Karna was on the side. Karna said he's not going to fight in the war until Bhishma was killed, because Bhishma otherwise would get all the credit. Till then, I am not going to fight, he said. Okay. Now, Drona, he is talking about other great warriors such as, we saw he talked about Drona, he talked about Bhishma, he talked about Karna, and now he talked about Ashwatthama, and now he's coming to Vikarna. He's telling Vikarna, he's not a great warrior per se, but he's including Vikarna on the side of great warriors. What is the reason why he has to include him? Even though you are a poor performer, if you are being called upon on the list of top 5, won't you be like surprised? Oh my God, what's going on? I'm scoring like 20th percentile, 20th rank, and still they are calling me in top 5. What do you mean? What's going on? Like that you might feel, right? Like that, Vikarna, he's not a great warrior, but still he was called upon as a great warrior. What is the reason? The reason is because what happened during Draupadi's disrobing episode was that Vikarna was the only person who actually happened to oppose Duryodhana and company. He said it's not the right thing to do like that. He opposed them during that time of Draupadi's insult. And because of this, Duryodhana actually felt, okay, this guy Vikarna may have some sort of compassion towards Pandavas, right? They went through a lot like that. This Vikarna might feel, because the Draupadi's episode, he did not like it like that. These Vikarna might have a soft corner towards them. So if I actually make you a top 5 Kaurava warrior, then you will have the aggressiveness to fight, right? If I put you down, then you'll be like, okay, I mean, I probably don't have the responsibility as much as others. But since I put you on the top 5, you will feel so aggressive. I should fight nicely because he called me on the top 5, right? Like that. Vikarna was subjected to be put into the top 5%. I mean, even though he was not a good warrior, because Duryodhana thought that he may have a soft corner towards Pandavas, he happened to name them among the powerful fighters. Are you clear?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, good.
Mataji, now
Naisha.
Yes, Mataji.
And now I have a
Okay.
question.
Yes.
Not only when Draupadi was kind of insulted, but there might be other times when one of the Kauravas opposed the
Yeah.
other
There are other
Kauravas.
reasons too. Yeah. Like the House of
Yeah,
Law.
so maybe what if another Kaurava also opposed the other Kauravas at childhood time or something that
No.
he
This
named
was
them as a top 5 or something?
No,
I didn't.
that is not very significant. Nothing like that is mentioned except this particular episode, because see, the main trigger for this war to happen is the Draupadi's disrobing, because Krishna, he went as a messenger. He asked Duryodhana, can we just settle? Can we give 5 acres of land to the 5 kingdoms to the Pandava army and be done with it? And Duryodhana was like, I'm not even going to give you any piece of land. Leave alone 5 kingdoms. I'm not going to give you anything. And then Krishna actually told Pandava, see what they are doing. They're not ready to agree for the peace settlement. And did you forget about the Draupadi's episode? What are you saying? You are not going to fight the war. When Arjuna was saying, I'm not going to fight, he's saying, see what all happened in your life, and you forgot all about that or what? So that particular episode was very important, and the one person who opposed to that episode was Vikarna. Hence it is very important. The other episodes are not so significant. Okay, and even on the other episodes, everybody, all the Kaurava army, they were usually supportive of Duryodhana. Okay, nobody opposed except in this case, Vikarna opposed. Defection was always important concern for military leaders. Although Kshatriya love to fight, they are not always concerned whose side they fight on. Therefore, Yudhishthira announced at the beginning. What did he announce? It's a very important point. Beginning of the war, that religious principles allow defection before the battle starts. But once it is started, warriors must stay on their chosen sides. So there is a rule, okay, whatever side you are going to fight on, you must stay in the side. That's all. Before the battle starts, you choose your side. If you want to participate on the Kaurava side, you before the battle starts, you start there. And once the war starts, you can't change. You can't see, oh, the Pandavas are doing a good job. Now I want to switch and go into the Pandava side like that. No, once you are there, you are there. That's all. There is no changing. Moving here and there is not allowed in the game. Both Duryodhana and Krishna were active in recruiting defectors. Krishna and Kunti Devi approached her son Karna and invited him. See, Karna was actually invited to join Pandava side. We all know the birth of Karna. Karna actually was the first son of Kunti. And Kunti, before marriage, she happened to bear Karna. And because before marriage, she had this child, she didn't know what to do. And that's why she actually put him in a river and he went. Because of which he was not taken care of by Kunti as such. And Krishna told Karna that he was actually he even told Karna, the eldest Pandava, and he encouraged him to fight alongside his brothers, especially because he wouldn't join the battle until after Bhishma's death. He promised, right? He wouldn't join the battle until after Bhishma's death. So he was trying to go and make sure that Karna can actually come to the side of Pandavas. But let's see what happened. On the side, Duryodhana both tried to keep Vikarna. But of course, Karna did not listen to that proposal. Okay, even though he was being told that he was the first son of Kunti and he was encouraged to fight alongside of the Pandavas, he wouldn't listen to Krishna. Because of Duryodhana helping him, he said, okay, I'm not going to come into your side. On the side, Duryodhana both tried to keep Vikarna and to win over the Pandava's uncle Shalya. So now Duryodhana, Vikarna, he was little bit afraid of Vikarna because he has a soft corner for Pandavas. Duryodhana was afraid that Vikarna will go into this side. But he wanted to ensure that he wanted to keep Vikarna with him. Okay, Duryodhana. And then he also wanted to keep Pandava's uncle Shalya. So that's also another thing. Let's see what about him. Karna needed a fit charioteer. Like Krishna, Karna needed somebody to be a charioteer for him. And that was Shalya. Shalya was both acclaimed charioteer and a Maharatha warrior. As Shalya and his army traveled the long distance to Pandava's side in the battle, they found pleasant accommodations that Duryodhana had arranged. See how he tricked Shalya. Shalya's uncle entered into the battlefield at that time. He took care of Shalya with a very nice, caring way. Duryodhana, he made all good arrangements, accommodations for him. Whenever you treat the guests nicely, they will be so happy with you and they will say, okay, I'll fight for you. Like that, he made Shalya to fight for him by giving him good accommodations during the wartime. Yeah, even though he was Yudhishthira's uncle. And Duryodhana's clever ministers encouraged. If you're going out in the class time, that's wrong. As Shalya and his army traveled along long distance to join the Pandava side in the battle, they found pleasant accommodations. That's what we said. Duryodhana clever ministers encouraged and tried Shalya to make full use of the facilities. They took such good care of him that Shalya said, Yudhishthira must have arranged all these accommodations. When he was given these accommodations, he felt, oh my God, I'm getting so much nice accommodations. It must be Yudhishthira because I'm Yudhishthira's uncle, right? That's why Yudhishthira made these arrangements for me. Whoever has arranged for me, I will do whatever they ask me to do because I'm so happy with this. Duryodhana then appeared and said, it was I who made all these arrangements and I want you to fight on my side. And Shalya, since he kept his word, he fought for Duryodhana. In those days, whatever words they kept, they followed it through. If they say they were going to do anything that may be required, then they will keep up that promise. Not like, Mom, I'm going to do everything, all the practices that you tell me to do, I'm not doing any of them. That is what we see here in these days. But those days, they kept up their discipline. They kept up their vow. Whatever they say, they will keep it up. I'll do whatever he wants. That's what was the statement made by Shalya. And Shalya actually kept that statement up. And Shalya kept his words and they happened to fight for Duryodhana and eventually became the final Kaurava commander-in-chief. Okay, so this is what had happened so far. Okay. So there are many other heroes who appeared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons and all are experienced in military science. Like that Duryodhana is saying in 1.9. Then he continues and says in verse number 10. What does he say in verse number 10? Let's understand that, okay? Our strength, another 5 more minutes of listening time, after which there will be question and answer session. So you will be doing the question and answer session with me after this particular slide. Let's see. Our strength is immeasurable and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma. Whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited. See how he is boasting himself. He's saying, our strength is really good. We are underestimating because he wants to make sure that the Kauravas are given a lot of courage and they should not fear of anything. And that is why he's saying our strength is immeasurable because it's perfected by Bhishma. And he doesn't want Bhishma to favor the Pandavas. And that's why he's trying to now appreciate Bhishma so he can favor towards Kauravas and fight against the Pandavas fiercely. Whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, that is only limited. It's not like us. So see, look at the quote like Srila Prabhupada says. Here, an estimation of comparative strength is made by Duryodhana. He thinks that the strength of his armed forces is immeasurable, being specifically protected by the most experienced general, Father Bhishma. On the other hand, the forces of Pandavas, they are limited, being protected by less experienced people like Bhishma. And Duryodhana was always envious of Bhima because he knew perfectly well that if he should die at all, he would only be killed by Bhima. But at that time, he was confident of his victory on account of presence of Bhishma, who was far superior. a general who was far superior general. His conclusion is that he would come out of the battle victorious was well ascertained. So this is the reason. He just now, because we all know Duryodhana is envious of Bhishma, and he knew that if at all he'll be killed in the battle, then it would be due to Bhima that he'll be killed in the battle. But that at the same time, because he was Bhishma on their side, he is he is like Parashuram, right? I mean, he is so capable of fighting the battle fiercely, like nobody can beat Bhishma. That's what he had confidence on Bhishma, because of which he thought that Bhima is only limited in strength. That is the conclusion. And then we also know how how envious he is of Bhima. The only thing he always worries about is if at all he is killed in the battle, it will be due to Bhima. That worry is always there in Duryodhana. And that is what is ascertained by Srila Prabhupada through this purport, told by Srila Prabhupada. Okay. So if you look at this next slide, it talks about the summary, who are all in this side and who are all on that side. We have Bhima, Arjuna, Virat, Drupada, Abhimanyu on this side, some of the notable warriors. And then on this side, we have Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Kripa, and Ashwatthama. Okay. So maybe if somebody wants to read this verse, they can read this verse, and then 1.9. And then we can conclude today's session with this.
Mataji, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Anyecha bahava sura madarte tyakta jivitaha nana shastra prahanaha sarve yuddha visharadaha.
Thank you, dear. Okay, I have some more people who have raised their hands. Soumya, do you want to recite this verse?
Anyecha bhavaha sura madarte tyakta jivitaha nana sastra paranaha sarve yuddha visaradaha.
Okay, thank you, dear Soumya and Aditya. And Naimisha.
That was from my hand before.
Okay, okay. Mihika?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, you can read.
अन्ये च बहवः सूरा मदर्थे त्यक्त्वा जीविताः प्रहरणाः सर्वे युद्धविशारदाः.
Okay, thank you so much, Mihika. And one more person only. I can have Ramachandra or Krishna Chaitanya recite and complete it.
I'll do Mataji. Anye cha bhavah shura madarte tvakta jivita nana shastra praharanah sarve yuddha visharada.
Thank you, dear Ramachandra. So now we will go on to our question and answer session. Please, all of you all who want to participate in the question and answer session, raise your hands, and then we can discuss through that. Okay. Anyways, the first question goes to Aditya. You see that Duryodhana was trying to talk to Dronacharya. Who are the warriors he spoke about, and what did you learn?
Like, you mean the part where he was like picking people to join his side?
Drona, first name, what did he call? I mean, what did on the
Pandavas? Oh, the first name he called was Bhishma to make Drona angry.
No, the first name he called Drona has anger with who? Correct.
Bhishma.
So he called out?
Drupada.
No, he didn't call out Drupada because Drupada
he said Drupada's son.
Correct. Drupada's son. That is who?
Drishtadyumna.
Drishtadyumna. So then who else was the next? I mean, so can you just name the personalities? Like first was the son of son of Drupada, that is Drishtadyumna. Then?
Bhishma.
No, it is not Bhishma. We are talking about Pandava side.
Yeah.
Oh, Pandava side.
he's talking about the Pandava army, then only he comes to the Kaurava army.
Yeah.
So like who was on the Pandava army?
Mm-hmm.
So like that's just like the 5 Pandavas. Drishtadyumna.
No, he doesn't mention all the 5 Pandavas. He talks only about 2 Pandavas. One is because Bhima, because he...
Arjuna.
It was like there was also like Abhimanyu.
Yeah.
Arjuna.
Yes.
Yeah.
Arjuna.
Arjuna.
And there was
Virata?
Hmm?
There's Virata, right?
I don't think I understand what you're saying.
there was Drishtaketu,
Drishtaketu, yes.
Chekitanaha,
Yeah, Chaitanya.
Chekitanaha. Mm-hmm.
Kasiraja,
Kashiraja
Kashiraja.
and yeah.
Purjit and Kunti Bhoga,
Kunti Boga. Yes.
Kunti
So this
Boga,
is
yeah.
the slide.
Last one is
Saibya.
Drishtaketu, Chekitana, Kashiraja, Purujit, Kunti Boja, and Shaibya.
Yeah, I think there's a verse saying that.
Yeah, there is a verse. That's what...
Drishtaketu, Chekitanaha, Kasiraja, Shavirva, Purjit, Kunti
Kunti Boga,
Bhoga, Saibya, Narapungava.
Yes, very
Yeah.
good. So the thing is, first Duryodhana happened to talk to Dronacharya about Pandavas. He wants to incite anger on Dronacharya so he can fight the battle fiercely with the Pandavas and not be lenient with them. Because he always felt that they have he has a soft corner towards Pandavas. Okay, next question. I'll ask Kartika. Are you ready?
I also have a question.
Okay.
I thought you said that Duryodhana thought Vikarna had a soft spot for Pandavas.
It will be talked about in the Kaurava side.
Oh, okay.
Now we finished the Pandavas. He talked about the Pandavas. As I told you, now because he is feeling, oh, the Kauravas may feel fearful. Since I spoke so much about the Pandava army, maybe they feel so fearful. Now I should glorify the Kaurava army so they are a little bit calm down and they think that the Kauravas can actually win. Right? And that's why he glorified the Kauravas. Okay, Mihika?
I wanted to answer this question. Can I?
Which question?
The question.
Oh, you
you're
want to
going
answer
ask.
the question? Okay, I thought you just had a question. Okay, you can answer the question. Can I ask the question?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me who was Shaibya?
I remember Shaibya was a king. But yeah, I think Shaibya was a king.
Okay, everybody, the Kshatriya sides are mostly on the kings only. Any specifically, you remember anything?
Wait,
Okay.
Who Mataji?
One second, let me ask, who knows this answer? Raise your hand.
There was a question.
Yeah, Shaibya. Who is Shaibya? Whoever knows the answer, raise your hand.
I think he's like the father-in-law of Yudhishthira. I'm not sure.
Wonderful. Who said that?
Ramachandra.
Good job and good listening. And Bhumi, can you please mute dear? I'm very okay, Bhumi is muted. Good. Now the next question. Shaibya. Shaibya, right? See, Shaibya. Shaibya was the father-in-law of Yudhishthira. His daughter Devika, she was married to Yudhishthira. Very good listening, Ramachandra. Now next question to Mihika and next Varun. Okay, Mihika, can you answer?
yes, Mataji.
Okay, so how did he glorify the Kaurava army?
Mataji, I don't get what you mean.
So what all, who all were the Kaurava warriors who we glorified? So you just name first 2, that's all.
Okay.
I'll ask the rest to Varun.
Okay, so the first 2 were Bhishma and first Drona, then Bhishma.
Wonderful. Yeah, he was kind of hesitant. Who should I glorify first? Then he immediately
Because-
tried to equally say, yeah. So that way.
Ramana's like Kshatriyas worship Brahmanas. So
Correct.
I'll first say Drona's name and then I'll say Bhishma Pitama.
Correct. That is why we have Bhava and Bhishmas. So that way we have personalities like you, Dronacharya and Bhishma, because we know Bhishma is a Kshatriya and Kshatriyas usually respect Brahmanas, and because of this reason he actually cited Dronas, that is Bhava and Bhishmas. Very good listening, dear Mihika. Good job. Are you all clear, kids? The other kids who are not answering, did you understand Mihika's question, Mihika's answer to the response to the answer?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Ati Varun. Your question is, who are the other Kauravas who are glorified?
There was Vikarna.
What about Vikarna? What Vikarna?
He thought, oh, he's sympathetic because of Draupadi. He was the only one who thought like that's very disrespectful. He thought about that. So then he was like, oh, I should mention Vikarna next.
Why? Because why?
Because of when Duryodhana was like, oh, Draupadi, come sit here on my lap.
No, that was Bhima's episode. When correct.
Yeah, and then Vikarna, he was the only person in the Kauravas who found that very disrespectful.
Correct.
And then he thought, oh, Vikarna will want to switch sides with Pandavas. I should probably mention him.
Protect
next.
him as a great, and that's why I mentioned him as one of the great personalities.
Yeah, I should mention him as a great personality. So he didn't want to switch to
Even though in reality he was not. He is not a great
He's not
one.
a great personality, but because of he didn't want to lose any warriors, so then he switched up. So then he said Vikarna as a very qualified person.
Did you all understand Varun's answer? Good job, Varun.
Wait, Mataji, I couldn't hear him properly. Well, who did he say was a good personality but not?
Vikarna.
Yeah,
Vikarna. He
okay.
mentioned Vikarna that, see, this guy Vikarna, he was actually not a great warrior per se, but he did not like the fact that Draupadi, when Draupadi was distraught, he was humiliated, right? And he was very cautious, and he was not sure, because Vikarna may switch sides to the Pandavas because of his sympathy towards Pandavas, and that's why he wants him to keep him on his side, and that's why he glorified him. He's saying, oh, you are a great warrior, like that. You understood, Aditya? That was
Yes.
Varun's answer. I just repeated what he said. Okay, Krishna Chaitanya and Ramachandra, are you ready?
Yeah, just Krishna Chaitanya. Yeah.
Okay, first
Ram
Krishna
already
Chaitanya.
went.
Who wants to go first?
Krishna Chaitanya.
Krishna Chaitanya. Okay. Can you tell me about Bhishma? And so in the 10th verse, he says, the Bhishma, right? He talks about Bhishma. And how is he glorifying Bhishma there?
He is glorifying Bhishma like how everyone can stay under the protection of Bhishma. And Bhishma is so powerful that he can protect everyone. But Bhima is not as powerful. Even if he carefully protects, it is not, his power is limited.
Wonderful listening. Good job, Krishna Chaitanya. And that was perfect. See how he glorified Bhishma was. He's saying, Bhishma, your strength is immeasurable. Oh my God, I can't believe your strength. And look at Bhima. His power is so limited. Nothing before him. You're so great and powerful. Like that, he actually glorified Bhishma because he wants to give courage. He glorified Drona, he glorified Bhishma, he glorified Vikarna, so that they all feel confident. Some people, they need glorification. They have to be constantly reminded, oh, you're doing a good job. Oh, you're doing a good job, right? That is what was going on. Yeah. Last question to Ramachandra. With this, we will conclude today's session. Okay, Ramachandra, are you ready?
Yes, Mataji.
What about Karna? What happened to him? I mean, what was going on between Karna and Bhishma?
What, Mataji?
What was going on between Karna and Bhishma?
They're like a little enmity.
Enmity. What kind of enmity between Bhishma and Karna? Varun? No, you don't have to say. I'm just asking you to.
So like Karna's a little like envious because like he's kind of jealous kind of because like he thinks that I can do all this fighting stuff instead of Bhishma. I can do all this stuff that and he's like so strong that I can do all this stuff. We don't even need Bhishma. So he felt a little hatred and a little envy.
So the main point is that Bhishma, she's saying Bhishma, see, I'm not going to fight the war until Bhishma is killed. Because then only, because he wants to get all the glory towards him. Because he thinks if I fight and kill everybody and Bhishma is going to take the glory of it. Everybody will, he will take the credit of even though I killed them. He was having that enmity, as you say, the jealousy was there, the enviousness was there in him, in his attitude, it was seen. And that was clearly seen when he was making the statement, oh, I'm not going to fight the war until Bhishma is killed. Because if I'm going to kill all the warriors, still Bhishma is going to take credit to it. Okay? That's why he wants to fight the battle after Bhishma is killed. Are you clear, Ramachandra?
Yes, Mataji.
Good job. Okay, kids, I hope you had a beautiful session today. Hope we learned something through this Gita. I mean, we are all going through the first chapter now. Hope you learned something. I want you all to participate in the question and answer session. So it's more interactive and I know that more of them are listening because every question that I ask is in relation to what we learned. And if we are all paying attention, then we must say, yes, I can answer the question. And if you are feeling difficulty in trying to remember, then make some quick notes. That way you can remember. So let's